Do you have a dream? Not the kind of thing that happens when you go to sleep at night and suddenly your brain directs a wonderful film of things that either exist in your life or don't exist at all, and it could be good or bad. Now, do you have a dream for where you want to be in a couple years, where you want your life to be in 5, 10 years, the long game, the if only? Do you have that? I think I do, but I can never pinpoint precisely what it is. I always feel like I'm working towards it until I don't. Until I feel like I'm not making enough progress there at all. Until I feel like I've completely lost sight of my dream, but yet I'm stuck going wherever the hell it is that I'm going. But what is my dream? I'm not one to talk about destiny, fate, things like that. Those topics do not interest me. What interests me is, I don't even know that it interests me, but what I worry about, per se, is my goal, my dream, where I want to be that I will be able to look back on and be happy with, where I want to be happy with where I'm at. The good thing about playing the long game, the good thing about working for the long haul, working for the weekend, as they say, is that I do get to enjoy the process. It's not all about where I end up, it's about what I enjoy, or, about enjoying my time as I'm going, wherever I do go. And that's great. That allows me to appreciate what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and where I'm doing it a whole hell of a lot more. The problem is, when I don't enjoy the process, things go downhill very fast. And apparently that's what's happening this week, and I don't know specifically why or how. It could be that I was on this super crazy high of spring coming in, and me just enjoying the sunlight and the bright optimism of the weather, and now depression's hitting me again, or I could just be going through a phase, or maybe it's just not my week. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just thinking too much. Maybe I've been cooped up in my head far too much. I don't really know, but I now have the feeling that I'm off base, that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or at least I'm not pointing in the right direction. I don't know how much of this stuff I should be saying. I don't even know if I'll be posting this commentary per se, and I'm doing this in a commentary instead of a vlog because it directly relates to, as my cat jumps down because he's mad that I'm talking so loudly next to him trying to sleep on my keyboard. This directly relates to what that dream is, or what it was. I don't even know how much of this I'm supposed to be saying. In theory, this is something that could get me in trouble, per se? Maybe not. Probably not. But, and like I said, I don't even know if I feel comfortable saying it, but, or posting the video, rather. I don't know. I'm in a weird place this week. And it's been the whole week. It started, I guess, over the weekend, or maybe even the weekend before. I don't remember now. I went back. I delved headfirst into the pit of what I thought would be nostalgia by playing Halo Online, which is my current equivalent of a playable Halo 3. I played Call of Duty 4 on PC, and then I played a lot of Call of Duty 4 on PC. It started at least last weekend, if not before, and then this whole week, that's been my escape. That's been my way of dealing with whatever I'm feeling, or whatever I'm not feeling. I played a hell of a lot of Call of Duty 4. And like I said, I thought it was a pit of nostalgia. I thought I was just gonna be like, oh, those were the days, and then go back to real life and get bored. Like, I haven't been playing games much, and so when I do go to play games, it's typically for short bursts at a time, and it's like, yeah, that was fun. Okay, back to work. This week, it's been the option, the idea of stopping playing and going back to work hasn't even crossed my mind. I went back and, alongside doing other things, started watching old Scene Anners videos again, which is my usual looking back coping mechanism of sorts, and I've mentioned this before multiple times, but it's something I do every now and then, and that was alright. It didn't give me anywhere near as much of, I guess, a quote-unquote fix as I might expect, simply because I've already done that recently, and I don't know. I'm in a, like I said, I'm in a weird place. So instead I went back and watched some videos from Hutch. Now, I've never been subscribed to Hutch. Well, I'm sure I have at some point, but I've never really watched his videos. He's always been someone, at least whenever I've tried paying attention to him, who only mainly talks about the games and talks about things that I'm not too interested in. But apparently at some point around 2012, 2013, that changed. When he came back from his leave of absence after leaving Machinima, he actually talked about stuff. So I went back and watched his videos on what happened with him and C. Nanners leaving. Well, he didn't really get to explain C. Nanners' point of view because that's not his own, but essentially what was happening when he left Machinima Respawn for good and that whole debacle, and then he explained his experience with Mr. Stark across like 4 videos and his experience with Hollywood Angels across like 3 videos. And all of that just put me further down into an even lower place. This was something that was supposed to comfort me. It was supposed to be more information, more content from something that was a hugely significant part of my developmental years, my time period where I was already grown up, per se, but I was still very much discovering who I was and what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be and building that for myself. And while I didn't sit there and watch a whole heck of a lot of Machinima Respawn, that idea, the culture around it, what I did see of it, and the general bromanshiphood of Nanners, Sark, and Hutch on a regular in-person studio show was always what really hit home for me. That was where I wanted to go. That was the literal manifestation of that. The Machinima Respawn team, the show, the offices. That was my goal when I started, getting serious about this whole quote-unquote YouTube thing. That was my goal. That was where I wanted to go. That was what I wanted to do. And then as time passed and that went away, that idea, the idea of either building my own such studio or finding one that I could work for and having that kind of work culture around me, having those kinds of relationships with people with such strong similar interests and who are all dedicated to that kind of environment, culture, and workforce. That's what I've wanted out of life. Or at least professionally. That's what I've wanted out of my work. And that may not seem super important to some people, but I spend every waking hour of every day essentially working. And so what I want out of my work culture is one of the most important things to my well-being as a person. And I've yet to find that. I've made steps, I've made progress. My entire livelihood now is based on my work around YouTube, specifically. But, and I'm even working for a network, which Machinima is, or was. But it's not the same thing. I do work from home, I do telecommute, I do work remotely, which in a sense seems like the dream job, but I do spend a lot of time wrapped up in my own head, as you can see by this lengthy commentary. And I don't have those kinds of relationships, those kinds of friendships, those kinds of stories about things that happened that I can look back on and tell people and share with people because they mean a lot to me. I barely know any of my coworkers. In fact, 90% of the people I end up having to work with at Freedom specifically, I have to be introduced to like 5 minutes before. I know like 1 or 2 people that have been there long term like I have, and it's not like we chat a whole heck of a lot. And I don't know, I want that, and I don't know how to find that, because I cannot remotely afford nor make work logistically with everything else going on in my life, move to New York or San Francisco or LA, which is where the majority of those opportunities are available, because LOL Media, let's exclusively house ourselves in the most expensive cities in the entire world. Because that makes fucking sense. No, it really doesn't, and it always pisses me off. It's like, oh, I could go work at Polygon. If I could by some miracle win the lottery and afford to go work or to go live in New York, I could go work for Machinima. If I could go move to LA, doesn't work that way. And I've been searching and putting it out there and trying to find something locally, but it doesn't really exist. I'm in the southern Indiana, northern Kentucky region, the Kentuckiana area as it is. And there's not a whole lot around here for that specifically. Now, I could go work for a news station or something maybe, but that would probably drain my life force away much faster than anything I'm doing now. and there's just nothing here. Full screen's up in Chicago. Can't say I really want to work in Chicago, and I can't at all guarantee that they'd have anything specifically that I'm looking for. And it's kind of upsetting. Like, I don't know what to do about it. And whenever I put it out there, there's always someone. There's always someone, and it's different people. I'm not like calling out anyone specifically here because it's always someone different, but there is always someone guaranteed who essentially responds and asks why I don't make it. If I really want that and I want it locally, why don't I set it up? I don't have the capital, I don't have the resources, and I don't have the people to even get that going. I can barely pay rent at the end of the month. I can barely afford like my own livelihood with what I'm working at right now. Which to all of you who say, well then why don't you go get a real job? I am working the equivalent of 2 to 3 full-time jobs in terms of hours and dedication and energy expulsion. And so, if I'm going to continue doing anything that I'm doing, getting a quote-unquote real job, or what is actually just a traditional job, because this is by no means not a real job, would prevent me from even continuing at all what I'm doing. But, you know, I can't at all afford to pay anyone, and I've yet to find anyone worthwhile who's willing to help build anything together, or, you know, would even be able to contribute to my own stuff, or, you know, to pass off the workload. And that becomes even more frustrating, and I don't know. I don't know what to do about it, and this has been a very open and, frankly, for me, if I'm being honest here, kind of vulnerable commentary. I'm still not 100% sure if I wanted to post it, but Chu's at work. My fiance Chu is at work. My cat obviously didn't want to listen to me since he just jumped down from my desk. And I just wanted to talk about it because it's been building up apparently this week, and I'm only really starting to feel it as I'm actually trying to focus on work, and I just physically can't. I physically am in a position right now where I don't want to exist or function in the same capacity that I normally do. And so I'm gonna go back and play more video games, and that's not entirely okay. But my question for you, based on this has been, you know, I want to connect with you guys and discuss this, which is my whole point in making this video, or this commentary. This is more of an audio blog, but there will be gameplay. I've recorded so much gameplay that my main YouTube hard drive is filling, so I do need to use some of it up very quickly, even though YouTube does not like to process 4K 60 FPS video on my gaming channel. As my most recent Call of Duty 4 video has shown, it has still yet to process such a format, which is extremely frustrating because I uploaded it in 4K 60. I want it to show to people in 4K 60. But I want to know if you have a dream in terms of what you want to do, a dream job, a dream lifestyle, a dream home setting, a dream work culture. What is it, and what are you doing to try to get there? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please share anything you can regarding it, and I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.